in the beginning, every single song you make is the best song you've ever made. That's also really exciting, and there's just so much to learn about it. But of course, it doesn't go without its frustrations from time to time. Back then it was like really a thing that you had these blog spots that would collect all this electronic music, and this was in a time where it wasn't so readily available. And I just got completely addicted to that. I just was constantly looking at these blogs and listening to every genre of music that electronic music has to offer. And I just got so lost into it that I thought, I need to try this myself. So as everyone, found Fruity Loops and messed around with that for a very, very long time. And then I gradually moved into Logic, and I haven't really looked back since. After high school, at the time I was working a lot with a friend of mine, and after high school we decided we want to turn our hobby into our profession. So we said, okay, we're not going to go to university, we're just going to invest all our time into music and see what happens. And naively back then we thought, we'll just do it for a year and then make an album. Well, that's not how it goes. So a year became 2 and 2 became 3, and then eventually we met our manager. And from that point it started picking up more, and we started moving away from being an artist and moving more towards working with and for artists and doing commercial stuff like for advertisements, and of course the sample packs that I've been doing. We just had done so many genres by that point that we felt we can that being so versatile, we can implement that towards the needs of an artist, and that we enjoyed that so much, and that started picking up, that we just started doing that full time. We used to work with a band from Manchester, and we had the opportunity of doing the official song about the derby of Manchester United and Manchester City, and that got broadcasted to millions and millions of people. So that's of course quite that feels quite good when you see it actually on TV and gets promoted. And so that was, I guess that was one of the first more bigger accomplishments. My good friend introduced me to CR2 Records to do some stuff for them, because of course they have their CR2 Records sample division. And yeah, the first sample pack I did for them was Phat House, and that did well. What I like about the Phat House sample pack is that it's quite versatile in the sense that the song starters are quite different, but they do have kind of a unity to it. And yeah, the way I usually try and accomplish that is by things I also talk about in the course, using certain sounds in a way that they have a certain familiarity with each other. And then you kind of create this overarching sound within a sample pack. What I also think is unique about this particular course is that you get the sample pack with it, and the whole course is almost like a, well, I wouldn't say an instruction manual, but kind of like a suggestion manual, I guess, about the sample pack. How you can take these sounds and make them your own and use them in your songs, so they give it that little edge, that little extra. I'm also just a producer, and I've also watched a lot of instruction videos. I mean, and there's so much to read, but there are definitely things that I've picked up along the way that I've never read anywhere or never seen anywhere. So I hope those little tips that are just about workflow and how to make a certain sound, that people will find that valuable, because I just feel like there are certain tips that I wish I would have known earlier. And besides that, I hope they see that, I think, because so many samples are so readily available and there are so many plugins so readily available, that people kind of seem to think if you just have like a lot of samples and a lot of plugins, you'll eventually start to sound good. But my point with this course, I guess, is also showing you can do a lot with a little. In the end, it's about how you use what you have.